Hey everyone, it's nsfw. Today I'll be showing you how to use the posing helper by Ruvik to pose your character inside your scene. First of all, let's press T on the keyboard and select a controller on your character. Go to Select Root, Plugins tab, and add a plugin slot. Select File. Go in your search bar over here and type Posing. It's going to be the first one on the list, called Ruvik Posing Helper. Mine is 57, but it can be a newer version on your end. Select posinghelper.cs list to load the plugin and open custom UI. Oh, here there's a lot of menus, but first off, let's go to show UI to show your posing helper. This over here is your posing helper. Now, as for menus goes in your plugins tab, the most important in my opinion is the UI scale and the UI offset. Let's let these values go to default. Actually, I think I'm going to go and drag this one a little bit more to make it more clearer for you over here. So, first off, there's a lot of buttons over here. Actually, I'm going to try to go through these as naturally as I can, but there's just a lot of stuff to cover, and actually a lot of stuff I don't really use on a daily basis. So I'll show you what I use and what works for me. So my big problem is I like to make poses that look symmetrical. So obtaining a symmetrical feel in Virt-A-Mate is pretty hard because you have to enter your values manually. So what I do to get a symmetrical posing is there's two ways actually. The first way would be to go in these little arrows over here. This is gonna lock half of your controls over here. So if you want to make, for instance, your hand symmetrical, select the hand control over here. It's gonna highlight green and go to these large icons over here. These large icons represent an axis. So y-axis, you can simply drag your mouse on this and it's gonna move each way your y-axis. Same goes for the z and the x. If you want to move two axes at the same time, use these big boxes over here. They're usually very obvious to see. This one is green and blue to represent the y and z axis. It's gonna move on two axes at the same time. You can do the same thing over here on these three axes, but these are the rotation axes. So if you want to rotate, just drag your mouse on here and it's going to rotate symmetrically on each sides. There is another way you can achieve this symmetry. Let's unlock the symmetry over here. So if, for instance, I want to move my hand all the way over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the opposite controller I want to symmetrize. What you have to do now is middle click with your mouse on this controller. Once you middle click it, it's going to automatically put your other side of the hand symmetrically to the other one. So middle click always does that symmetry for you. Let's test it over here on the feet. So I'm going to do middle click on the left foot. I mean the right foot. So it's very often that myself I get mixed up, but it's okay. The only thing you need to do is to try symmetry again. I don't like that. I don't like those hands dangling like that. I think I'm just going to fix those hands a little bit. And then bring these hands a little bit closer to my character. Next off, I'll show you a little bit of these menus over here. So over here there's on, don't press on. I don't know why, I don't know what it does, but when I do use it, it just breaks my character apart. The next one over here is collision. You can toggle on and off the collisions for your character. You can also freeze the physics over here. I never really use these, leave these all for default. You can also reset some links and clear some links. When I do use some links, what I do is I just go into these over here and parent my links manually over here. I never really use the posing helper to link anything. So next off, we have this little tab over here. I don't really use this one, but you can change the position depending on the camera, the global and the local axis. I usually always leave it to camera. You can also load an existing pose that you have saved earlier and just choose the pose you want to load. You can also save a pose. To save the pose, just press the folder with the downwards going arrow. Enter your name. For instance, I want the name this one stand. Save. Take a screenshot to make it easier to find. And you're all set to go. You can also press this button over here to reset your character's state, but I personally never really used that one, but the option's still there. And over here you have the finger posing tab, which I do not use as well. Also, I forgot to mention, if you have a second character inside your scene, the best way to cycle through is to go through these little arrows over here to cycle from the next person to another. Because you should never add two versions of this plugin in one scene. So always be sure to have only one plugin loaded on only one character and to cycle through these arrows over here instead of adding another. I'm gonna lock this over here. So that seems to be pretty much it. If you want to pose your character symmetrically, I think this is by far the most easy way to go. Obviously, learning all this can be a little bit hard at first, but the more you use the mod, the easier it gets in due time. So I highly recommend trying this mod as much as you can, but personally, I mostly use this one to get this nice symmetry on each part of the body. I hope this was useful for some of you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. This was a Level M22. I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Have a good one, guys.